Today, I have taken the custom color of the cursor to explain something. So today's question is going to be sorted surround region. Okay. Okay. So I think it's more clear now because I am not able to get the actual pen to explain something. Yes. So it's done. Now let's see the problem. Okay. So what does this exactly saying? You are given an M cross N matrix board containing letters X and 0. Capture region that are surrounded. Connect a cell is connected to the adjacent cell horizontally and vertically or vertically. Region to form a region connect every 0 cell. I don't know, it's 0 or O. Surround the region is surrounded with the X cell if you connect with the region X and none of the region cell are on the edge of the board. To capture the surrounded region, replace all zeros with X in the place within the original board. You do not need to return anything else. So what we have to do basically, this question is saying that all these zeros that are not touching from edge zeros have to be eliminated. Like if we would be iterating on this whole matrix, then on the first row you can see there is no zero, so it's same in the this is the result answer, this is the resulted matrix. In the second row you can see there are two zeros or O, and they are connected with this 0 or O. So now, but this O is not connected with any other O that is touching the edge. You can see that it's diagonally touching, but it's not basically touching in the 4-directional way. So we have to eliminate all the 4-directionally touching, like not touching or having adjacent zeros. I'm calling it touching or not touching, but it's like adjacent zeros. So that's all we have to do. We have to just, so what we can do for the solution, we can make a new matrix out of here, the given matrix, and initialize it all the cells with X. And what we can do is we just have to iterate on the edge of the whole matrix. We have to check that if there is any O is existing in the cell of the edge of the matrix, then we can take a BFS or DFS from there and we can store it from the edge, and rest of the O's will be automatically eliminated because we are not counting them. So we just have to iterate from the zeros that are having or existing in the edge of the matrix. So that's what we have to do. So let's see how can we do it. Okay. Okay. Now it's all good. Okay. Now the solution. So what we can do is to initialize the answer. The answer is 2D vector as same as the matrix. So we have to initialize it. Initialize the answer with X. Okay. And then we also have to initialize the Q with with all the edge zeros, or you can say O, I don't know, it's O or 0. Basically, it would be definitely O. Initialize Q with all O, and we have to uh, replace the and we have to also put O's in answer on these particular cells, and also have to mark them visited. So how we will be marking? Using a method, like not a method, basically we can just mark in the original array, that mark it as a X, that okay, this is already visited, so mark them visited in board. So this is what we can do. And now the third part is definitely it's BFS. You can go with the recursion or iterative method. Right now I'm choosing iterative method using Q, and within this, the first part is exploring the children's, and within that we just have to push the children, push the child if uh, they are X, else they are, sorry, if they are O. So that will be pushing all the adjacent answers to the main solution. And then we can, what we will be doing in the end, we don't have to, there is a one more thing, it's the question is saying that we don't have to return to capture the surrounding. See, you do not need to return anything else. So we have to return not anything else. So we have to replace the board with the answer matrix, this answer matrix. So that's what we will be doing in the end. Okay. I think this is way much better. I just wanted to make it as a smooth UI. I don't know, but yeah. Okay, now it's good. So what we have to do first, we have to take the M size of board, that is row and column. Okay. Now we have to initialize the first part. There are three parts, not more than that. This is the first part, initialize the X. So how we will be initializing it? You can directly take from here. Oh man, this cursor is very hectic. Okay, we can just change the name answer and initialize it with the on each column with the X. Now the second part of the code, I'm gonna remove this cursor soon. We have to initialize the Q. Before initializing, we have to declare it. So we can declare it with the character, not character, the location. We are needed to store the location, that is I and J in the queue. It will be storing the I and J, and we have to just initialize it with all the zeros. So we have to iterate on the matrix, the rows, and then I plus plus. Now for J, now we will be iterating on the column, J smaller than N, j plus plus. And if the value of the cell is O, then we have to push it into the queue, that is I and j. We also have to replace the value of the particular cell of the answer. We have to make the answer also and mark visited. And how we will be marking the visited? Mark visited by, you might be thinking that if the original board is going to change, then how we will be uh, solving further. But we have to copy the original answer into the, here I forgot to write the fourth part, that is push all the values of answer in board. So that's what we have to do. Okay, so now the two sections are done. Now we have to go with the third part. Iterate, we can iterate using while loop and queue till the queue will be empty, and then we can use auto to take row and column from front of the queue and then pop it. Okay, let's focus on this one thing for now. Third part. Now we have to explore the children. As we can see, explore the children. Okay, so explore it using delta method, delta array method. So I is equal to 0, a is smaller than 4, I plus plus, then I would be taking the nr, that means new row, delta plus I, delta I in column t plus delta I plus 1. Now you might be thinking, where does this dt is coming from? So here is dt coming from vector dt, that will be taking the 0, s1, 0, s1 again. So I'm not going to explain it. I will be soon adding the I button over there, so you can get the link that how the delta array works. Now we have to check the boundary check. nr must be greater than 0 and nr must be smaller than m, and nc must be greater than 0 and nc must be smaller than m. If boundary check is done, then we also have to check with board, then the child cell, that is nr and nc, is, if it's 0, greater than 0, then we have to push it into the queue, push it into the queue, basically the child, and we also have to place the answer. So nr and nc must be 0 or o, and then we come to the last point, the fourth part. Here is the fourth part. Push all the values, so it's super easy. You just have to iterate it on the matrix. Sorry, anyways, we have to push all the values into the board from answer. So here it will be bold, answer I and J. Now it's done. So that's all. Now why we are getting the problem here? Zero, zero. We have marked it 0 in the answer, and then we have also pushed it over there. But if board have 0 and if it's boundary, then we have to, okay, the error is it hadn't removed it. Why? The answer was initialized with the X, and yes, that was the problem. We are pushing all the zeros into the answer board, but instead the main and important condition is that we have to push the only edge, the zeros from the edge. They are edge zeros, and we the edge zeros are going to be only skipped, not rest of the zeros. So yes, we have to make the condition that if I is equal to 0, or I is equal to if it's in the edge, or j is 0, or j is n minus 1. And if it's an edge and board, this condition will definitely make the answer correct. Why? Because we haven't been checking the X in the first place, but now we are checking. So in the 4 section, your whole answer would be done. Think I haven't been marking. Yes, this is where we also have to mark that we have visited. So here, let me zoom it. Yes, NR and MC. We also need to mark it that okay, we have been visited in this part. Mark it visited. Now it's done. We were just skipping this part. That's why now it must be submitted. So this is the 4-step solution. You can easily get it from my GitHub. Thank you for watching.